lots of areas in life, but we haven't. We've tried to change the events and we've been able to. And then sometimes life gives us one that we are powerless with, and it can force us to come back to trying to find a sense of well-being or happiness independent of the event. And this is the miracle, in a sense, that has to occur. How do I, as one book was called, be happy for no reason? Because if you want to look at my life and what the reasons are, it can't be because of that. So this is the shift, is from external to internal. And it's a significant shift. And we start then to move into some of the, even though this is in psychology and mindfulness, it's been quite paired with a lot of the, say, the Enlightenment material and traditions, because that is about also an experience of well-being or happiness independent of the life situation. Apparently the samurai warriors used to say goodbye to their life before they went into battle. They were sort of trained at a high level of mental mastery and physical prowess. And their argument was that they were trained to, the samurai monks / warriors, and they were trained to be responsible for looking after the king. And so the mastery that was required was that when they were in battle, the choice of stroke that they had to make was what was most effective in that moment, not what would potentially keep them out of harm. So to be perfectly efficient, they had to actually be completely non-attached to their life, and they had to say, well, I need to do whatever it is that I have to do that independent of its consequences. And in literature, we often applaud this mentality as basically the hero. And I always love in Shakespeare's Hamlet, there's the contrast between Hamlet, who's classed as the tragic hero, and then there's these other foolish guys called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, who are just basically presented as the opposite. And so the one distinguishing thing about the hero is their ability to articulate their fate or to know what's happening, regardless of whether they're going to live or die. And we kind of honour this mentality in literature as the heroic way of being. And so Hamlet dies, I think, by the sword, trying to save the state of Denmark that's rank. And Rosencrantz and Guildenstern die by being hit in the back of the head in the middle of the night and they have no idea what happened. And it's sort of the Shakespeare's way of sort of articulating the nobility of that heroic mentality versus no idea. And I'm just, in their case, they were just following the money, the external, you could say. Okay. So often in mindfulness we call it the hero's journey, because it is very much about developing an internal power. It's not about coping skills to get through. It's about when I don't have anything specifically in front of me that is enjoyable, where does my well-being come from? Well, I either remain in suffering or I go within and find it. And that's the mindfulness distinction. That is from external to internal. And then it's, of course, it then says duty of care, do all you can on the external, but not having one's well-being rising and falling based on the status of this external. And again, that research I said in the beginning on health, again the research has found that people's well-being has been reported as being more connected to their relationship or their mental view to their health than their objective health. That's the primary one of the two. So that's why we focus on trying to augment or build this one up. Okay, so that's the end. It's lunchtime, and I'm not sure how lunch works, but we have lunch now. And if we can be back at 1:45, yep, that is maybe 1:50. That gives us 40 minutes. Is that okay?